Hey guys, what's going on? Jake here, and welcome back to another episode of the F124 driver career mode. And today I'm actually, it's weird because I actually have no idea if and how this is actually going to work because we've been having issues lately, and those issues have been very simple because basically I got a new iPad, so I was like trying to sort everything out to edit there, which took a few days. And then I kind of wanted to do a voiceover, obviously, like I normally do, and it just wouldn't work. And there was the audio quality of a voice recording on my iPad is absolutely horrific, and therefore I couldn't physically use it for voice recordings, and for doing voiceovers. But yeah, that has meant that it's been like 2 weeks now since I uploaded, and yeah, it means that in the future, like right now, I'm currently. Oh, I've actually screenshot something. And I'm also like basically the setup that we've got going right now is that I'm doing a voice memo on my phone. I have then got the video playing on my screen on my iPad on low volume, and I am sat here recording this voice memo, trying to do my best to make it as good as possible, or as good as what could be possible. But yeah, let's, without further ado, as we are now in qualifying, talk about, and we skip straight to race, talk about a few things. So I did a 50% race around Spain, and then once we finished it, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of want to do another one, but I don't really have time, and it was Austria, so I was like, I'm probably going to win in Austria anyway. So I just decided, hey, you know what, let's just do like a shorter one with short quali and 35 or 25, whatever it was, percent, rather than what we would normally do, which would be 50. So yeah, this is the Spanish Grand Prix. Quali was basically, I made a mistake in quali for the Spanish Grand Prix, and I was going to go out at the end and do my soft lap run, and which probably would have got me very close, if not pole, because I did have decent quali pace, and also race pace by the looks of it, from what you're seeing right now, probably. Um, at least I hope. So yeah, I mean, we're cooking right now. And yeah, the only reason we didn't get pole is because the rain started falling on that lap. So yeah, it is what it is. And as you can see, we are now setting fastest laps as well. At least I'm hoping that we are setting fastest laps. I mean, I don't know if this audio is synced. I don't know how synced it is. I have had a few pauses in the video already by accident, which I've had to like completely skip through. But this is like a 20-minute video that I'm trying to edit here with the most BTEC software to ever exist, by the way. Like, this is absolutely horrific. But yeah, and I mean, on top of the tech issues and the fact that I've just not really been playing F1 and stuff like that, there's been other issues, such as I started working and, it's tiring. I've not really been playing at all on my Xbox. I mean, the new FIFA came out, and as you guys know, I said I wasn't going to get it. I'm currently playing the 10-hour trial, and to be honest with you, the game, it just seems like it's going to be another one of those years. So I don't know what kind of content we're going to make on FC this year when we eventually get the game. Maybe even Pro Clubs content, to be honest with you. Pro Clubs and maybe career mode. And then I'll probably play Ultimate Team, but like mainly Rush and stuff like that for like Evos and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what I decide to do to keep myself and any sort of viewage I can get entertained. So yeah, and then I also still love playing F1. I still absolutely love it. It's just I don't really have time, and I just feel like whenever I get on the game, I need to be doing something for a video, or else there's no real point. Which is it shouldn't be the case. But I love like recording my F1 footage because I have so much fun playing it. I make sick overtakes. I do weird strategies that work, and it's like, oh, I'd love to make this into just a video. But like, what's the point? It's not the career mode. So yeah, I just love this kind of stuff anyway. But we are now boxing. We've done 11 laps. We were maybe taking a car lap for a while at one point, but now we're going to try and go for an undercut on the cars around us. And we did get to like 55% tyre, which is crazy. We would normally box around 40% in a normal race, but we needed to go far enough, and we still put on the hards anyway. So let's see what we can cook up with today's strategy. So here we go. Car's coming out now. We were just behind Sergio Perez before we boxed. We've now come out just ahead of him. So we've made an undercut of about a second, and by the end of the lap, we were trying to work through lap cars. Lando Norris, who was second by quite a distance, is now within touching distance as well, as long as we can dispatch a Bottas. But it looks like Norris is going to dispatch himself of Zhou Guan Yu as well. As we try to stop Perez getting through, we try to make it as hard as possible. But eventually, everything works out fine as we then get past Zhou, who makes it really hard for us to get past him, actually. Which costs us the DRS range of Lando Norris, which is really frustrating. And that moment doesn't help either. And other moments that don't help is stuff like this with glitches in the game, where it's just like, oh, see you later, pal. So, yeah, we obviously used a flashback there for stuff like that. But, you know, that kept happening, which is quite frustrating as well. And yeah, but now we have Perez breathing down our neck. We pushed super hard. We used all the ERS to try and get Lando Norris within range, but we couldn't. But yeah, we are able to successfully defend Perez there. And Verstappen's only come out 1.5 in the lead, so that is the lead of the race, 1.5 seconds ahead. But we just can't. There was like a few lap period where I was closing in every lap and I was getting close, but I used all the ERS and I just couldn't. I mean, my race pace around Spain is normally absolutely awful and I'm defending for my lives or relying on DRS, but in this race I had decent pace. I just couldn't get there. It was just that last little push. I just needed a car with decent pace to work with, but Perez didn't really have amazing pace. So if, let's say, Verstappen was miles in the lead and I was in the DRS range of Norris, I reckon we would have cooked in this race, maybe won. But it looks like right now we're in the battle for P3 against the likes of Perez, Leclerc and Sainz. So, yeah, and then the Mercedes are in there, my teammates in there, Piastri might even be joining us soon. But yeah, it's an interesting one, it is what it is. But Perez has since overtaken us, and we now need to overtake him back, obviously. We can't just let that slide, obviously. So, yeah, also, by the way, as soon as I've edited this Spanish Grand Prix, I'm actually super tired. So I think I'm just going to do the Spanish Grand Prix part, see if I can transfer it over, get it on the video, and then we will do the Austrian GP part of the video when I have time tomorrow, / if I have time tomorrow, and then hopefully this video will be done sooner rather than later. Finally, yes, I know, finally. But yeah, on lap 23, we are now having multiple cars breathing down our necks, and we are being told to overtake Norris, which isn't going to happen. But if you look at the bottom right, we had 0.7 laps of fuel 5 laps ago. We're going down like 0.05 plus each lap. We're not going to get to the end. We are going to be quite a considerable amount of fuel under if we don't start saving, but I have not realised yet. But in some ways that may be a good thing. I mean, not right now because we're being swamped by both, and when, you know, if one of them had gone through, fair enough, but not both. But in the end, no contact to get that through, fair enough. But yeah, one thing that eventually happens is that the cars behind us battle, and we gain 2 seconds. We failed the objective with Norris, and then finally, when I go into the red, I realise we're in trouble, and we were a quarter of a lap under on this final lap, which means we will hit low fuel mode. And if it happens on this straight, you can wave goodbye to, I don't even know, everyone back to, well, everyone behind me, like the Ferraris and the Mercedes. So we would drop back a considerable amount. And as we went into that corner, we hit low fuel mode. So we've now got to get through this final sector on low fuel mode. Can we do it? Can we hold on for P3 and for a podium in this race? We've done incredibly well. A podium from P18 on the grid will be an absolute miracle. Can we do it? Round the final corner, we need to use the RS, but we don't, and it's going to end up potentially costing us. I mean, I think we would have been overtaken anyway, but in the end, it's going to cost us a podium. I mean, P4 from P18, what I expected to probably be no points, is great. But it doesn't help our championship, constructors or drivers, mission. So, a bit disappointing, but, you know, it's now the Austrian Grand Prix, a place where I expect to win every time. So let's go ahead, and it's also a sprint weekend. So we are 70 points behind Max. Let's make that 50, 60 if we can. So yeah, let's get on to the Austrian Grand Prix. So yeah, let's do it. And I'm going to edit this tomorrow, but we are going to stick on 105 AI. And we are going to be doing shorter sessions. So I'll see you guys, hopefully this video works. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. But yeah, sprint quality looking saucy already on the mediums. So then lads, new day. And we are back once again to edit the rest of this video. And I've been straight into the deep end. Woke up about 2 minutes ago and there's a Guan Yu Zhou getting in my way. And we've got wing damage. Brilliant. So for sprint quali, guys, We did one lap on the mediums, got wing damage on that lap, and as you can see, it's really affecting the final part of this lap. And the final corner was actually quite nice. We worked really hard just to get the car through there, and it was temporarily quick enough, even on the mediums, but eventually we dropped down to P8, and we then tried to go out for our soft lap without wing damage, finally, right at the end of the session, and once again we get caught out by rain, which means that we are going to be starting from, well, more than likely starting from P8 for the Austrian Grand Prix. And now, I know that I love Austria, but on this game specifically, yes, I have good pace, but DRS is so incredibly important, to the point where this is curtains. Like, this could be curtains. I don't know if we can actually win this sprint race, but yeah, as you can see, 8 temps down. It doesn't even look that wet, but that's going to be it for me. We are returning to the garage, and that's going to be it. We're going to be starting P8, but we are the only car starting on softs, so we should have a good start. So here we go, 5 red lights, and lights out, and away we go. Norris covers us off into turn 1. We have a car around our outside, but we're just going to send it anyway. We brake a bit late to get around the outside of Carlos, and, well, we tried to go around the outside of Carlos, but we can only get George Russell. Battling tyres with George. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive, to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm meaning to, but it's 3 wide up ahead, including with our champion, well, I say championship rival, the championship leader by a long shot, Max Verstappen, but we get caught up on the curb, and this is now becoming really frustrating as my teammate is fighting with Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen, which is where I want to be, but that is currently not where I am, so it's very, very frustrating. But by the time we get round to the start of lap 2, through the last sector, we gained a load of time, and we are now right on the back of our teammate, Fernando. Fernando, I am faster than you. Let me through, my friend. Here we go. On Fernando Alonso. We're going to send it. He's going to defend, but we're just going to sail around the outside, and he defends it quite hard as well, but we're just going to sail around the outside, try and get a better exit. It's going to go all the way through this first and middle sector, this battle, but eventually, with the ERS usage, we pull ahead. And by the time we get to the next lap, we are just behind Carlos Sainz, but there is a big gap up ahead to Verstappen, who we need to maybe try and beat, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. But on lap 3 of 6, as I said, reduced weekend, we are catching now the Ferrari driver, Carlos Sainz. I think he's the lead Ferrari. No, I think Leclerc's up there, actually. So, yeah, no, Leclerc's actually leading. So Sainz, nowhere near the lead Ferrari driver, but we're going to try overtake him nonetheless, as we now go in to technically turn 4, I think this is, down the inside. Minor send, but we end up having a slide, but we end up finishing the move. And we then use Carlos Sainz to try and get to the DRS of Max Verstappen, which we maybe do, but we try and squeeze Sainz out on the exit, and we do, and we are now within the DRS range of Max Verstappen, but we need Carlos Sainz not to fight us here, as we are now potentially able to get the DRS from Verstappen, and we are, but it is the final lap, so I doubt it's going to be anything useful. And yeah, we do get that move done, but in the end we needed another lap or so, but we end up finishing behind Verstappen, but yeah, not ideal. And into the singular qualifying session that we're going to have, this is the first lap that we are going to do. We only do 2 laps, but we do this one and then we do one more, and I will leave the final lap open to a silent lap. And we will see. Actually, do I leave it open to a silent lap? It's going to be hard to mess around with in terms of audio recordings. Nah, let's not leave it silent. Let's just talk about it as we do it. But yeah, I mean, as I always say, Austria is a very good track for the player this year, because of the amount of DRS straights. It's a bit of a struggle for the player, so you've got to be very, very careful with not dropping out, not battling too hard, but always through the final sector is where I gain a lot of time. I mean, this exit here is normally where I lose time to the AI. They always get overpowered exits there to try and overtake me, but we're going to try counter that as much as possible this season and in this race. So here we go, swinging it round the final sector, really nice final sector, up to the line, and it's a 1:03 flat, which is enough to be the quickest time so far, but we still have another lap to do. With 20 seconds left in the session, we are currently on pole, but can we be dethroned, as I see a Red Bull there just ahead of me, behind an Alpine, Here we go. Do we need to improve on this lap? Potentially try and get pole position through to turn 1. It wasn't the best of exits out of the final corner, which means we are down a little bit on our time. But we absolutely nailed turn 1 and we gained 1.5 tenths through turn 1, which is very, very, very good. We're now using the slipstream of Yuki Tsunoda to help us down towards turn 3 and now up the, I don't even know what it's called, hairpin. And we're now using slipstream of Kevin Magnussen. It costs us maybe a little bit of time, but helps us in the long run, propel us down the straight. We get through that corner, we lose a little bit of time through that corner, but obviously you didn't see it. And then we run a little bit wide on the gravel, but we absolutely nail this corner, which gives us another tenth there. Potentially a little bit more, but it's a brilliant run, maybe more than definitely more than a tenth now. And we swing it round this final corner. If we do, we could be on pole position, and we gain a lot of time through the final corner, and it is 100% going to be pole position, almost 6 tenths gained. There was nothing that was going to stop me getting pole. And Max Verstappen only beat me my first lap by about half a tenth. So we are going to be starting on pole. There's only 18 laps, so we are going to be doing a pretty simple medium hard or medium soft strategy today. And I was going to do medium soft, to be honest, but I then kind of realised, I have no fresh softs. So it became practically impossible for me to do that. So in the end, we're not going to do that, and we're just going to go into the race and attempt to... I mean, for me, I was sat there in the cockpit very confident, like, you know, oh, I'm just going to win this race real quick. Let me just quickly win this race, which is the exact mindset I had. So, yeah, let's just see if that is what's going to come to fruition, or if we're going to be absolutely humiliated. So, we get a purple grid slot, and it is going to be, hopefully, 5 red lights eventually. The Austrian Grand Prix. I mean, the cars are only just lining up on the grid now. I probably should have cut this video down a little bit more. But, you know, it is what it is. Finally lined up. 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix. Can we win? Again. And slide down, away we go. And we get an interesting start. But comparing it to my normal starts is not the worst. But we are just going to send it round the outside of Verstappen into turn 1. And already after the first corner, we have almost pulled DRS range on Max Verstappen. And by the time we get to lap 2, we have finally pulled that DRS range. And then from there, it was just simple. We just pulled away. And eventually we did have, once the tyre started kicking in, Leclerc. Verstappen actually tried to undercut us. Normally we tried to undercut the AI, but this time the AI tried to undercut us because we're so quick. So into the box we come. Leclerc ended up getting almost within DRS range of us, but not quite. And in we come from the mediums to the hards. As soon as I realised I had no softs, I may as well have put the hards on. I may as well have gone in a lap earlier with Verstappen as well. But can we come out ahead of Verstappen? That is the key move. Did Verstappen undercut us? Here we go. Will Verstappen undercut us? He has undercut Leclerc and his teammate. Can Verstappen undercut us as well? No, he can't. We come out 2 seconds, maybe a little bit less, yeah, about 1.5 ahead of Verstappen. And with 8 laps to go, coming towards the end of this lap, which is the key part, when the rest of the cars pit, we are, after the final sector, almost 2 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, which is lovely. We don't mind it. Very, very good advantage to have. So yes, here we are. We are looking extremely, extremely good right now. And another fastest lap, 1:04.6. And as you can see on the left, we just pull away onto the final lap. Maybe we lost about 4 tenths within the last couple of laps. I mean, it's hard not to switch off. And I did use all my ERS for the fastest lap. So I didn't really have any, whereas Verstappen did. And he's used all of his on this lap. So yeah, with all said and done, it was a pretty easy Austrian Grand Prix. We kind of pulled away on the first lap. Never looked back, kept pulling away, got fastest lap, won the race. Jobs are good, and 26 points in the bag. The only annoying part is that Verstappen at one point was like P4 or 5, and then he managed to somehow get P2, which means gains on him is going to be minimal. But round the final corner to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Lovely, lovely stuff.
Oh, superb driving.
The Aston Martin team will be very happy with today's performance. And of course, the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork. And a well-deserved first place finish.
So yes, guys, in the end, Leclerc joins us on the podium, but it is a very successful Austrian Grand Prix weekend. And it's now meant that we have, I mean, I say reduced the gap, but we are now only, I don't remember how much that was, only 66 points. We've gained about 10 points on Verstappen this weekend. I mean, it's not a lot, but we need, I've had 3 DNFs this season, so we need a Verstappen triple DNF to kind of even things out with the luck and also to potentially win the championship. But we do win our rivalry with Carlos Sainz, which is lovely. And we are currently drawing our rating rivalry with Yuki Tsunoda. After all the retirements lately, we've kind of stunted in our growth, which has kind of put my doubt in my contract of growing to the right level. But I'm hoping that now, with all our DNFs, fingers crossed, touch wood, for the season out of the way, we can now power on, get to our target rating, almost now 83. But yeah, we also make an upgrade for the Belgian Grand Prix, which is going to make us the best on aero and should make us the best car on the grid. But as you can see, we could have won Australia. We were fighting Verstappen. We were fighting Verstappen for the win in Canada, and then that DNF in Miami was fighting for P3 with the Ferraris and Alonso. So let's hope the luck turns around and we can win the championship this season.